Saints tight end Foster Moreau talks inconsistencies and finishing strong. Ladies and gentlemen, this video has been requested. This exact interview with Foster Moreau has been requested quite a few times. Normally, I would go kind of right over this. We would usually do the quarterback, the head coach, the coordinators, Cam Jordan, obviously. But for some reason, this Foster interview has the people going. So we're going to watch it, react to it, and see what Foster has to say here. Insane hair, by the way. Insane product in that lettuce.
You just mentioned it, it's never easy to lose like this. But for you, going into this final week, what do you feel like is the biggest thing that this team has to do?
I feel like you got to be self-confident enough to be self-critical. And if you're coming to the game on Sundays and not performing with a...
That's true in life, by the way. It's very easy to turn a blind eye to criticism, and it's very easy to turn a blind eye to that and just say okay, what I'm doing is working, or I'm fine, everything's fine. But usually it does take some criticism, or does take some even just critique to really improve at something. And yes, you should absolutely have the self-confidence to receive criticism. I have worked with a ton of people, and I know a ton of people who cannot stand criticism. They're terrified at getting things graded, or terrified of, just feedback or whatever. And I remember when I first started working at the newspaper, I learned very quickly, editing or an editor or someone else put eyes on your work was the fastest way to get to a good product. So I kind of embraced feedback and editing and whatever. And now that I'm, I don't have an editor, obviously, but now I am super self-critical about the content and stuff that we're putting out. I'm constantly looking at analytics, looking at what the competition is doing. I'm constantly seeing where can we improve, whether it's video or audio or just this whatever. So and whatever you are doing in life, absolutely seek out feedback, seek out criticism, and just keep getting better.
A consistency that would merit you being a professional football player. Then you have to be self-confident, self-critical, and attack the weaknesses in your routine, attack the weaknesses in yourself. I'll always believe that, and we have to play to the standard that we set early in the off season. And if we don't do that, we're going to hate the product that we put on tape every Sunday.
Well, I love that answer, because that answer is no BS. That answer is basically a very nice way of saying we're playing like shit. We're playing like shit. The product is shit, and that's just it. You can go through 16, 17 weeks of, tackling, run defense, whatever. But after a certain point, you look at the whole thing, and you're like, man, this is just garbage. This is just bad. We're losing to bad teams. Thus, we are a bad team. And this is Foster saying, this is not good enough, and we got to be better.
Is it a matter of, no one can kind of do that for you or motivate you? It has to be almost self-motivation for something like that?
To be motivated by someone else is really that. That's not even a real thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyone could say something miraculous or spectacular or extremely motivational, but if you don't pick up on it, then it doesn't matter to you at all. Every motivation has to come from within, right?
I don't think it's a motivation issue. I've never said that this year, and that's kind of a cop-out, honestly. It's kind of a cop-out. It's like Alabama just got dog-walked by Michigan. It's always the cop-out whenever Bama fans or Bama is like, well, we didn't make the playoffs, or we didn't make a big bowl, so we weren't motivated. It's like, okay, well, you were on the field. Your players were on the field. So you're telling me they just were unmotivated for 3.5 hours and just got dominated? That seems weird, right? So I've always thought that was a cop-out and kind of a security blanket for bad teams or bad effort or bad players or whatever. So I don't think it's a motivation issue with the Saints. I think it is a way less of a motivation issue and way more of a just lack of talent, lack of production issue.
It's not. You're just playing you're flying by the seat of your pants. You're playing with false confidence, and that'll show up. If you sweep shit under the rug, it's still going to smell like shit.
There we go, baby.
Facts. This team was 0 for 8 on third down today. What was there a common theme that you saw as far as not being able to extend those drives?
Yeah. Did we pick up any that came back?
Oh, yeah, two, I think two. I think, yeah.
That doesn't help. You know. Again, I mean, I think it all circles back to the same thing. It is detail and preparation, right? If that's not 100% and you're not coming to the field, like it's never going to be perfect, right?
Yeah, and that's something that aggravates me with analysis a lot of the time is where it's like, well, we lost because we had 3 penalties on first down. It's like, brother, you lost 25-10. Like you got dominated. Like you're telling me that 3 penalties were the difference between winning and getting destroyed at home. Like I hear that all the time where it's like, well, yeah, we lost, but you know, a lot of that reason was because of we couldn't stop the run on first down. So it was 34-0. You know, like there was a lot more wrong. There was a lot more issues, and Dennis Allen was the king of this, where he would always say like, yeah, you know, I like what we did. We executed. We did all this stuff. Yes, we lost, but if we clean up this one very small thing, we would have won. And like no team, no effort, no game, no performance is ever 100%. Like you will always have drops. You will always have penalties. You will always have negative plays. You will most of the time have turnovers. You will most of the time give up big plays. You will most of the time have something go against you. For 3-4 years now, it seems like if it is not perfect, if it is not the Cowboys game, if it is not week 1 against the Panthers, if it is not that, then the Saints don't win. And I don't know, like there's so many other teams, the Chiefs, who things don't happen perfectly. Like, oh yeah, Patrick Mahomes will have 160 yards passing and 2 interceptions, or they won't be able to run the football, or it'll be their defense will give up 48 points. But they find a way to win. And good teams, it doesn't have to be perfect, and it never is going to be perfect. You know, you don't have to catch every break. You don't have to have everything firing. You don't have. I remember Urban Meyer famously said they asked him what it would take to win, and he said he wants 250 yards rushing and 250 yards passing in every game, which is absolutely insane. Like that's never going to happen. That's the greatest game ever, and he said he wants that every game. So it's like, and that's just where his mindset was at, was like, you have to be firing, you have to be perfect, you have to be doing all this stuff to win. And if that's the case, then you're never going to win.
I mean, like in baseball, if you bat 300 your entire career, like you're going to be voted a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, you're a Hall of
maybe
Famer,
not first ballot, but you'll be a Hall of Famer one day, right? That's just the truth. That's 300 in baseball. In football, it's a little higher, right? If you're 50% on third downs, you're at the top of the league.
Yeah,
right.
You're insane.
So it's never going to be perfect, but you have to consistently put out a product that's going to be at least get you to 50%, right? That's all we're asking. Just give us everything you have, and you know what? Even sometimes that's not going to be enough, right? It's like it's all about consistency and persistence, right? You have to fail 1,000 times to succeed only once, right? If the man that has never reached success has not failed enough.
Foster is in his bag right now in these cliches. I mean, I'm all for it, and I agree 100% what he's saying. I've always used the metaphor of like an infinite line of doors. Right? Imagine an infinite line of closed doors. And when I was unemployed on welfare right during COVID, I would sit there, I've told the story a million times, but I would sit there and I would pick a city in America and I would I would apply for 50 jobs in that city. And I would do it every single day. I did that for 10 months. And my whole thought was, I'm going to knock on a door, and then if they don't open, I'm going to go to the next door, and then the next door, and then the next door. And I don't care if it takes me 50,000 doors. If one opens, then it was all worth it. But a door will not open unless you knock on it. You know, if you sit in your living room, like this YouTube channel I'm doing right now, it is a perfect example where, you know, if if I keep doing this every day and it keeps growing and I think the content is really good, then yeah, potentially there could be really sweet opportunities that I only dreamed of. But if I sit in my living room and I never make a video and I never do this and I never put something out, those opportunities are never going to come. So you do have to take the risk, even if it means failing. And sometimes you do have to fail. You do have to knock on the door. You do have to, whatever the metaphor is for your situation. But if it happens 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, 10,000 times, but then opportunity strikes, who cares?
That's all it is. And I mean, we got a lot of failing going on right now. That's fucking blatantly obvious.
Foster.
But you have to be a man enough to get off the ground and fight for the person beside you. Don't fight for yourself. That's empty. Fight for something bigger than yourself, because that's where you really get special people and special players.
Is that what you guys are kind of looking for? Just one game left? Like, there's just kind of that bounce back and that effort? And there's not much else to...
I mean, yeah. I mean, going into last week's game, we're not playing for a playoff berth, right?
Yeah, I've always said this too. These players are on the field. It sucks playing football. It sucks getting hit. It sucks all that stuff, running around, all of it's hard. So when they're out there, they're playing to win the game. They're playing to have their best performance. They're all that stuff's happening. You don't do something like that and half-ass it or whatever, because it's going to make it 1,000,000 times worse. So even if there's no playoff berth, even if there's not this, even if there's not that, if you're on the field and you're running a route and the ball's coming to you, like, it's the same, man. I almost spilled my entire cup of coffee on my lap right now. This is boiling hot. That would have been so bad. So bad. Damn, that would have been bad. But, Foster's gone over the middle, and it's 3rd and 5, and it's a slant route, and he's going to catch the ball. It doesn't matter if it's at the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter if it's last week against the Bucs. It's the same rep. It's just, he's not sitting there thinking like, oh, man, well, okay, here comes the ball. We are eliminated from the playoffs, so whatever. If I catch it, who cares? No, he's worried about, I'm about to get hit. I need to catch this pass. Like, it's all just reflex, and it's all just happening. So I think that's something that fans do a lot of, is like, they try and like label these motivations where really at the end of the day, like, who's out there, the motivation really doesn't matter. Now, motivation absolutely comes into play with players taking plays off or not playing the entire game or sitting out or, stuff like that. But on the field, every game's the same.
I mean, there's plenty of the fan base that wants us to lose so we can get a better draft pick. Like, I'm not blind to that. Like, I see that, and that's, I mean, they could think that all they want, but people have to play with passion, and they have to play with pride, and they have to play for each other.
Yeah.
And they have to play for their jobs. Like, you have to play because this is your resume. And I fucking hate talking about resumes. I hate the man that's talking about their resume is out of a damn job. Like, that's a fact. So, like, you could think about your resume all you want, but in reality, you got to play for pride, and you got to play for not only the name on the back, but the name on the front and the logo on the side of your damn helmet. That's a fact.
Let's go,
and,
baby.
I'd love to see us get back to doing that. And there's look, you could, work smart, not hard, is not something I believe in. You have to work your balls off. You have to work as hard as you possibly can just to have a chance in this league. Just to have a chance in life, you got to work tirelessly, right? That's what I believe. And if you work hard enough, eventually you'll get smart. But I don't believe in all the rest of the hoopla. I just work hard, be where your feet are, and just the secret's in the dirt. The secret's in the daily grind. Thanks, guys.
Damn. Goodness. Foster Moreau for president. Wow. Foster Moreau for president of the United States. How do I vote for Foster? What a hero. Get him the microphone more often. Why is he not talking before and after every game? Wow. I felt like I was watching Rocky IV. I was watching a training montage. That was unbelievable. Foster, very well done, very well said. Not this trend. I mean, that all goes way beyond football. That is a lot of stuff that you can take, a lot of life lessons. I 100% agree with literally everything you said. Wow. No notes, 10 out of 10, gold stars, A+. Good stuff, Foster. Good stuff. We need more Foster Moreaus out there. Very, very nice. I'm very happy. Wow, I'm very happy with what he had to say and the message that he's tossing out there. Good stuff. Unbelievable. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.